In this video, I'm going to share on how to grow a small one-person tutoring business according to Reddit. And I'm going to share 3 actionable steps to grow yours as well. And by the end of this video, I'm going to share one bonus step that actually helped me and I believe can help you in terms of your education business. So my name is Haris and I am the founder of EduGrow, where I help tutors or educationpreneurs or entrepreneurs grow their business. So let's get started. So essentially, I was on Reddit for very good reasons, and I chanced upon this post where it asks on how to grow a small one-person tutoring business. And the top post or comment actually shared, and he's from Singapore, which is perfect. He shared or she shared that this person is a solo tutor with over 110 students per week. That's very impressive, with over $250,000 in terms of profit per year, and that's really impressive. And this tutor actually shared on 5 things that helped her or his business to grow from 30 to 50 to 100 students. However, I have filtered the most important one and the most important 3 actionable steps to grow your tutoring business, because I personally have in a way gone through these 3 steps in order for me to grow my previous education business. So let's get started with the first one, which I believe are reviews. So reviews, if you think about it, they are just texts from customers, and essentially texts are assets. Assets are essentially things that can help make something more valuable, right? So that are assets, essentially something to make something more valuable. So in essence, if you have a lot of good reviews, it makes anything very or perceived more successful. So my previous business partner, he shared that businesses get more valuable or perceived more valuable when you get more assets, and one of the best ones are reviews. So in a nutshell, there is many types of reviews. The old reviews that can happen 5 years ago, and the recent reviews that you got a week ago. So I just want to share a simple hypothetical situation where if you have 2 tuition centers and tuition A have this year's review, so let's say this is 2024, but tuition B has a review that has from 5 years ago, and both offer you the same exact thing. Essentially, maybe like you are looking for math tuition for primary 6, which one would you choose? Tuition A with this year reviews or tuition B with reviews from 5 years ago? Which is more trustable? The answer is tuition A, because the recent is better, because essentially in Singapore, we in essence have changed our curriculum. Now it's subject-based kind of learning, and at the same time the grading also has changed. And maybe this video, if it's being watched in the future, it might change again, but the reviews will always stay the same. And the thing is that the more recent, the better. And which type of reviews should you get? So if you are a physical location tuition center, which I believe most of you are, then the first thing is that Google reviews are very important, because number one, essentially when they search on your tuition, they will see the Google review, or the Google review will actually show up. So this is my previous business partner's tuition, and you can see there's 5-star with over 124 reviews, which is very good. So a lot of times people see the stars and number of reviews first to compare to other tuition centers nearby as well. So that is something that you should always get. Later on I will share on how to get Google reviews, because I've done it before. Number 2 is in your website, because in the Reddit post it also shares about how to create your website. The website review, essentially, to just summarize, always show the before and after. So in this example, before, a student had grade C for their math, their math test, but after joining us, a tuition center, they have improved to grade A. And that before and after is a very good way to tell people that whatever you learn in my tuition class works, right? So your website, you should always have a before and after, and at the same time make it recent, right? So don't show 2020, 2019 because that's very long ago. Show 2024, a little bit more trustable. Not saying that your past reviews are bad, it's just that might as well get the more recent ones so that people can believe you more. And most of the time, tuition, your USP, your unique selling point, if people want to compare it, right, a lot of times it's more towards your reviews that is more recent versus a lot of other things that you might think differentiate you. And then at the same time, if I were to just give you an example over here, if tuition A, tuition B has offered you the same thing, they sell you the same price, but only the reviews are different. One is 5-star, one is 4-star. Which one will you choose? And it's very obvious. You'll choose tuition A, right? So tuition A has 5 stars, very obvious. What about now? So you have 5-star but 1 review, and then you have 4.9 star but 100 reviews. So essentially, mathematically, 5-star is more than 4.9, but 5-star with 1 review versus 4.9 with 100 reviews, which is more trustable. The one that is 100 reviews, even though it's a lower kind of review and it's like super close, but a lot of times people have, number one, go for the highest rating, but if it's very close, they will go for the second one, which is the amount of reviews. The more reviews you have, the more people will perceive that your one is more trustable, because parents are looking for tuition centers so that they can, give you the responsibility of teaching their children or their child to improve, and they want to always go for the one that's more trustable, which is in this case the higher reviews in this case. All right, now you hopefully have a very good conviction in terms of collecting reviews, the more recent ones especially. So how do you collect? So there's a lot of ways, but I feel the more personal way, or the more, I would say, productive way, is to essentially message the students or parents for quick feedback, and preferably video, whether it's online or physical. Reason why video is because it can be another type of asset. So right now the reviews are in text. What about videos? And the thing is, as humans, when we see videos and text, which one do we believe more? Which is essentially videos, right? Because you can see the people's face, people's emotions, you can hear them. Sometimes they might, cry, and like parents or people who watch, students who watch might be like so moved that's like, okay, I'm going to join the tuition center. So these are things that you can in a way do, right? Online and physical. So that is something that you always have to. And like I said, the more reviews you get, the more people will believe, and sometimes people will travel from very far to go to your tuition center to actually learn from you as well. So I believe video is very, very good. So in the Reddit post, essentially how he did or she did was to approach ex-students, and sometimes they might have already graduated for 2-3 years already. And the thing is that if you did a good job, they actually remember the good parts of it, right? And that's where you can get maybe around 20 reviews, 30 reviews, and at the same time it can be a very it can be like, hey, let's meet up, and can you also give a review? So in a way, you want to rekindle that relationship with your student, so that you want to know what's up with them, how's life, because of you, they might have actually achieved something that you can showcase in your website. So for example, you help this student in primary 6, and then maybe like 5 years later, he entered Harvard. And that's why in a way you could say, I helped him build the foundation of, for example, math that helped him go to Harvard. And that's an amazing, testimonial. Even though the whole, from primary 6 to Harvard is a long way, it's like, if you always build that relationship, always talk to the student, how are you, then it's essentially such a good testimonial, and is worth the investment to actually invest in a relationship with your students, and also the parents as well. And since you're building a relationship as a long-term thing, then at the same time, more and more people will know from them. And then but getting to the point of reviews, essentially, it's always good. Google Maps is already there, Google reviews, and at the same time, I recommend videos because that's where you can use as marketing assets for you to use on your ads or on your website or anything else that you're showing as well. Okay, so record a video, whether it is online or physical, and then you can ask simple things like, oh, what do you like about going through tuition Haris, right, or Haris tuition, and then ask them like, so number one is what they like, and this is also good data for you to do more of what they like. So for example, oh, every time I go to Haris tuition, he always play this song, or he always talk to me about my personal life, and I feel like I'm not talking to a teacher, but I'm talking to a friend. So this is like, okay, I need to do more of that. Talk to students as they were as your friends, right? Second, feedback improvements. So this is where they will tell you what can be improved or things that they might think may not be relevant. So for me personally, I was teaching a class and I did some like physical activities so that to make it a little bit more fun. But I realized that from the feedback of the students, they don't really understand the activities that I was doing with them, and essentially I discard it. So my hypothesis is that to increase understanding, I have to do activities, but I realized it wasn't the best use of their time, and then it's better to just do something else or just remove it and just continually teach and tutor them as well. So feedback is amazing because you can reduce the things that they don't like, right, or improve on. And lastly, ask for reviews, of course with permission. So ask them, okay, can I get a review from you, and this will be used for marketing? And sometimes they will say no, and it's fine, because more importantly is the relationship that you want to build with them. But at the same time, if they say yes, then that's great. Then that's where you can use it on your website, on your ads and whatnot. Okay, and then lastly, your website itself. So essentially, nowadays people are looking up on the World Wide Web to know who you are and what your tuition is. So essentially, I would say that the website is the first impression that someone's get. And trust me, the websites that I see in some tuition centers are not the best or the most updated. So to me, design, it's a good way, but I don't think it's like the most important thing. The thing that I believe that will help you is number one, reviews and testimonials, right? So put it there, put the before, after, put the Google reviews, and then put videos as well. That is enough for someone to be convinced that you are the one that is going to help my student or my child, my child or children to improve in the subject that you are expert at, right? So credentials. So I think there's another part of this, if I'm not wrong. Okay, but never mind. So at the same time, a lot of times I see tutors putting whether they have bachelors in terms of their whatever they learned, right? So I think when you start out, of course, the credentials help, but after you get your reviews from the Redditor itself, the person who posted this, he said that people don't really ask, or parents don't really ask about the degree that they have, because they already see results, because parents want to see results, and also how the learning experience is with you as well. So that's also very important, right? And then at the same time also provide customer service professionally. So number one thing that I've realized so far that actually helps to get more students or parents joining your tuition center is the speed of how fast you reply. The faster you reply, the chances of you getting more students are in. So either you can do it manually by yourself, or you can hire someone, but at the same time you need to train this person to know how to reply properly. You can just leave it to this person. So that's something that you need to know. All right, so you see how important reviews are. Next thing is pricing. Pricing is something that I'll always push, because it's one of the easiest way to change, and there's not a lot of things that you need to do. It's just increase your price. So I believe that once you have more reviews, then that's where your perceived value of your tuition business increases, right? So later I'll share, right? Okay, so the Redditor also shared that raising prices will give you instant growth. Literally, it will give you, right? So he says he increases year by year. So that's a safer way to do it. And I agree that I will only increase prices on new clients For the current one, maybe not, but at the same time, there's many ways to increase the current prices for your current clients. But I mean, it really depends on, I mean, for me, it's like it's safer to just, for newer clients, then raise the price. For older ones, just keep it, because in a way, they trust you. So you give them the what do you call it, the benefits of being an early student of your tuition service, right? Okay, so another thing over here, now, it is a similar example, but the difference is that I increased the price for tuition B. So you see the reviews again. The reviews 4.9 and 5.1 review, and then 100 reviews for tuition B. But this time, the price has increased to $300 per month. Do you think that people will still join tuition B over tuition A? Of course, because one review is not like enough for me to like trust, right? Even though there's 5-star, but $300 per month for 100 reviews, 4.9, and hopefully you have testimonials, right? That's where like, okay, people will pay a premium for peace of mind, so they can trust that, okay, over 100 people, they give a very high rating, and for $300, okay, I don't have to worry. Versus like one review is like, oh, maybe it's okay, just starting, not very experienced, so I might as well put $300 per month, right? So these are the thing, right? So essentially, that is one thing that you realize, or I have actually saw, that once I get a lot more reviews, a lot more ratings, it's like when increased price, like the new customer don't really see anything, and that's like, wow, it's like, and our revenue increased. That really changed the mindset of how we should improve our business, which is essentially pricing. And if you want to, like, in a way, be like happier to increase price, then maybe add something to your tuition business, maybe add snacks, for example, right? So that's something that is, I believe, low effort, and in a way can add it to the price of yours. So I do have a calculator. So this whole calculator of price increase of before or after, this is inside my website, link in the description. So the thing is that if you increase from $200 to $300 per month, trust me, people will pay $300 per month. A lot of times $200 per month is very, very low. $300 per month is actually, like, I believe is good. Some actually charge $400 as well. So the thing is that if I were to charge, I increase my profit per student, or total profit, by 1.8. So for example, I charge student $200 per month, and I only get 20 students. After I get $300 per month, and then I got 20 students, from 4,000 to 6,000. Essentially, I increased by $2,000, which is a lot. And that is an increase by 1.5 times more. And the thing is, I believe your costs stay the same until you have a lot more students, which I believe is easy enough to just hire someone else that you can, cover the cost as well. So you can see that literally the profit almost doubled when you increase the price by $100, as you can see over here. So in a way, the cost per student is roughly around $80. Okay, so price increase, I believe, has the largest impact to your business, more revenue without almost no additional work, right? So these are the things. So this is on top of when you have more reviews, more testimonials, more results to show. And lastly, number 3, so get more students. That's also very important. So we call this acquisition. So how do you get people to know more about your tuition business? So for me personally, I have not have a lot of experience in ads. In my previous education business, I was in charge of ads, but ads really do play a huge part in terms of getting people to know you, and at the same time getting people to join you without any physical interaction with them. That was something that I believe he also shared. I think he never shared a lot. Literally, he just said the ads made a huge difference. Literally, he never explained what do you mean by huge difference. But I believe he is sharing the same experience as me when we did ads in the previous education business. Literally, without anyone to follow up with the sign-ups, they actually just pay. And you don't have to do like a free trial. They actually just pay. And that's something that was like a very good turning point for my previous education business. And I believe it is as well for him, because he can show a lot more testimonials, better ratings, a lot more students, track record, so people trust. And once they have all of this trust built in and hopefully a lot of value given, then that's where they're like, okay, I can just pay $300 per month for my kid to join your tuition. So I want to give a huge caveat to this. Creating ads doesn't guarantee that you will get students. So essentially, you also need to learn another skill on top of teaching, invoicing, customer service, which is ads or marketing. So in a way, you have to learn how to run ads well, right? So you can either hire an agency, an ad agency for you, or you can learn it by yourself. Pros and cons, right? If you hire ad agency, peace of mind, but what's the guarantee of results? No guarantee, right? There's always a track record of them giving results, but doesn't mean they will give you results, right? But you won't spend a lot of time learning. If you were to learn by yourself, that means your skill set will increase, but your time will decrease because you need to learn and run ads. But at the same time, once you know how to run ads, then if you run ads well, then that gives you a skill set to hire an ads person to do it for you that has been working for your tuition center. So that means you don't have to rely on external agency that might have their own way of doing things. You have your own way that works, and you can make it into a process for an ad person or marketing person to follow and actually give you results. So in a way, control gives to you, but the initial start will be not the best. For me personally, I would choose to learn, because when you want to hire in the future, when you make a lot more money than 20K, maybe 40K per month, then that's why you actually need to hire someone to do ads for you. So either it's an agency or not. For me personally, I rather build a person with me to build a team so that we can grow together, right? So I rather have a marketing person. So that means I need to learn marketing. No need to be the best, but actually have results. Then you're able to hire someone well based on how they are able to actually give you results. All right, and the last step or the bonus step is hiring. I think I talked about hiring just now, right? So essentially, he said that hiring, he over leveraged on a new tutor and only one, right? So in my previous education business, we actually hired a couple of part-time tutors and also one full-time tutor, because we had a full-time course and a part-time course. So a full-time course makes sense to hire a full-time person, while a part-time course you need to always have to find people who are available. So I believe this person hired a full-time tutor, which is I guess good, but at the same time this person is new to tutoring, right? So that's why this tutor left, and this person want to try hiring again, which is great, because that means he or she knows the advantage of actually hiring, which is to give you more time. So the fact about hiring is that it's not hire and that's like you can let go, right? So you can hire, then after that they will stay forever, right? It's like people will leave, so tutors will leave, and that's very normal because they want to have better salary, they want to change career, which earlier you see. But at the same time, the people can also make or break your tuition business. It's an or here. So when you train someone, essentially they get better and the business get better. If you don't train someone, they don't improve, the business will stay stagnant, and sometimes it will, your business will then maybe lose money in the future because you never improve. So these are things you need to know. So how do you hire well? So personally for me, how I hired instructors or even team members is that we hire according to the values that's aligned to, when you're starting out, it's usually yourself, but if you have values that you create the company out of, then you most of them want to hire someone values aligned with your company as much as possible. And then to know whether this tutor can teach, create an assessment for tutors to teach during the interview process, because that's the closest that you can get to know whether someone is able to teach at the standard that you're looking for. So sometimes people are very junior, so they don't know how to explain certain things well. Some are able to explain things well, but they might be at a standard that you might not want. or some just can't teach at all, right? So these are things that allows you to have a good, filter on who you want to hire. And for me, I hired my previous student to be the tutor, and he actually is and is a better tutor than me. I always tell him that because he knows my standard, and he is someone that cares a lot more to the student than me as well. So these are things that that I realized when I managed to hire someone really good, but eventually he left because he wanted to do something else, which is fine, because I realized people are here most of the time for the short term, especially juniors, and then for those who are more senior and they have a track record of teaching, they are mainly for the long term lah, right? So these are things so that I've learned and actually implemented, that actually worked out well as well. All right. So at the same time, one thing also is you also need to, in a way, have to constantly need to hire people, especially if you are using a lot of part-timers, which is very normal. So always have backups as well. So when you hire someone, because I mean, you yourself, you might get sick, and that's something that you can't control most of the time. So it is good that you have someone backup, and it can start out as a freelance as well, part-time. So you can call them up whenever you need them, and you can start up part-time because it costs less and the commitment level is less. But the thing is that you need a lot of people in your bank of instructors or tutors, so that you have a high chance of someone teaching for you. So a full-time tutor requires a lot more commitment, and in a way this person needs to work at a certain amount of time, agreed amount of time, and constant salary. For freelance, like if there's a job, there is also low commitment lah. So after hiring, doesn't mean you can let go. You need to have a standard they have to uphold, because you started out, you had a standard. That's why a lot of people come to you. So you need to, in a way, manage the standard, and that's like a whole topic for another day itself lah. So when you hire, most of the time you have more time, and if you can grow the business because you have more time to think about how to grow the business, and that's how you essentially grow the business, right, with people. All right, so essentially that's about it. So 4 things that we've learned so far. Number 1 is essentially, I forgot, but essentially number 1 is to get your testimonials up, so people will see the perceived value higher. That's right. Number 2, you can charge more with increased pricing. Then number 3 is to get more people, and the one that is like a double-edged sword is ads, right? So try other avenues that doesn't require ads as much, but if you want to go for it, then I would recommend you to actually learn from like someone who's very good, and then actually implement it, so that you can lastly hire people to do the job that you don't want to do, or the job that requires effort, and you can use the time that you have right to grow the business itself. With that said, thank you so much. If you like this video, give a thumbs up. If you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below. Comment down if you want more of this kind of video. With that said, see you and bye bye.